It's picks time, people. Who do I think's gonna win this week? Big contest this week. A lot of them include huge ones like my Sooner Boomers going out to Waco in Big 12 play. Also, watch an eye out for this one, guys. UCLA and Utah on Fox National. If UCLA wins, they could throw a big wrench into this thing, kind of like Minnesota did last week. Speaking of Minnesota, they're playing They're playing a big ball game too, I do believe. Yeah, they're going to be playing a big game against Iowa. All right, roll the boat, baby. Congratulations, Minnesota. Thanks for keeping the door open for Oklahoma. Good luck the rest of the season, and who do I think's going to win? Find out right now. Don't go away, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Championship November. Plenty of big games in Championship November as we change to November from October. November and December are huge. Who plays in November could very well decide who plays in December for the conference championships. Speaking of that, huge contest in the night game in the Big 12. We'll get to that in a second. But first, let's talk about all the midday games. No midweek games. Morning games, two of them. Kansas at Oklahoma State. Fox Sports 1. Mike Gundy will finally get his chance to play Les Miles. I think Mike Gundy's going to get it. I think he's going to get the win. But Kansas is playing better now. Just know that. TCU will be at Texas Tech on ESPN, The Deuce. I'm going to take TCU. I think that TCU, I think Gary Patterson and those guys, they just have a better defensive game plan than Tech. I think that. The Tech guys, they want to play better on defense, but TCU has been playing better on defense a long time. So I think they're going to get this one and become a little bit a step closer to becoming bowl eligible. 2:30. Speaking of defense, Kansas State's defense, they held our Sooners to 41 points. They just lost a heartbreaker to Texas. Now they'll play our old buddy Austin Kendall and West Virginia. They'll play them in Manhattan in the Little Apple, and I think they're going to find a way to do it. They're going to get it on. That game's going to be on ESPN. Speaking of Texas at Iowa State. This is the same Iowa State guys that almost, and I mean almost, except for Parnell Motley, almost upset my beloved Sooners and ruined their national championship season, college football playoff season. All of it down the drain. And I mean, like that in a dream. And they will, in a home game, host Texas. I think Iowa State's going to be able to get this one. It's going to be a raucous crowd, sellout, amazing fans, amazing crowd. There we go. Speaking of an amazing fans and an amazing crowd, what about this one, guys? Oklahoma at Baylor on ESPN, 6:30. I'm not picking this game, guys. You guys know this. I don't want to sound like a homer. But so I don't pick my own team. I don't do it. I never will. So that will do it for the Big 12 games, national games though. Tuesday night, 6:30, Western Michigan at Ohio. That one's going to be on ESPN2. I'm going with the Bobcats of Ohio. 7 o'clock, also on Tuesday, Eastern Michigan at Akron, ESPN, the U. I'm going to take Eastern Michigan. Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Bowling Green at Miami of Ohio, ESPNU. I'm taking Miami of Ohio. ESPNU on that one. ESPN2 will have UNI, that's University of Northern Illinois, at Toledo. ESPN2, I'm taking the Rockets of Toledo. That's Wednesday. Thursday's game, Buffalo at Kent State. I'm going to take Buffalo. That game will be on CBS Sports Network. ESPN will have our old buddy Matt Brown. North Carolina at Pittsburgh. ESPN, I'm going to go with Pitt. With Pitt being the home team. Friday, Louisiana Tech at Marshall, CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Marshall. Friday at 6 o'clock. Friday at 6 o'clock, also ESPN2. Fresno State at San Diego State. I'm going to go with San Diego State and the Aztecs. That is Thursday. And Friday, the midweek games. The rest of the Saturday slate at 11 a.m. Fox National, well, the first one that I have listed. That one will be Michigan State at Michigan on Fox. I'm going to go with Michigan. Alabama tries to bounce back. You don't get to see that in the regular season very much. Gets to bounce back, try to bounce back at Mississippi State on ESPN. I'm going to take Alabama. ABC, Indiana at Penn State. Penn State not happy about the way that they played against Minnesota and rolling the boat. They got their boat rode last week. They're going to bounce back this week on ABC against Indiana. Florida at Missouri on CBS. I'm going to go with Florida. ESPNU, Temple and Tulane at Temple. ESPNU, I'm going to go with Temple. ACC Special Network, Alabama State at Florida State. I'm going to go with Florida State, even though they don't know who their coach is going to be. I just don't think Alabama State can beat them. Virginia Military Institute at Army, CBS Sports Network. I'm going to go with Army. Big Ten Network, Wisconsin and the Badgers at Nebraska. I'm going to go with Wisconsin. The other Big Ten game on the Big Ten Network, University of Massachusetts at Northwestern. I'm going to go with Northwestern. 12 o'clock, ESPN the 3. UTEP at Alabama Birmingham. Football, UAB football. I'm going to go with UAB football. 1:30 p.m. Navy at Notre Dame on the Notre Dame Network. NBC, the Notre Dame Broadcast Network. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. 1:30, 2 o'clock. Idaho State at Brigham Young, BYU, ESPN3. I'm going to go with BYU. ESPN Plus, Coastal Carolina at Arkansas State. I'm going to go with Arkansas State. ESPN Plus will also have Louisiana Monroe at Georgia Southern. I'm going to go with Georgia Southern. ESPN3 will have Troy at Texas State. I'm going to go with Texas State. The 2:30 slate, Georgia at Auburn. Keep an eye out on this one, baby. Georgia at Auburn, CBS. It would really help if Georgia could win this game. It really would. That would mean that if Alabama were to lose to Auburn, they probably can't get back in because it would be a good quality, a bad quality win, a bad quality loss. But you know what, guys? Later in the year, that's not going to matter because Auburn's going to win this game against Georgia. Also, ABC game at 2:30. Wake at Clemson. They're not going to lose, guys. Clemson's not losing. ESPN2, Memphis at Houston. Houston. ESPN2, I'm going to go with Memphis. CBS Sports Network will have Central Michigan at Ball State. I'm going to go with Ball State. ACC Regional Network, Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech. I think that, I think that Bud Foster and our old buddy Justin Fuente, they're going to have a good game plan for Georgia Tech. They're not the same Georgia Tech that they have been to where they're winning a lot of games. They're really struggling. So look for them to lose. Kentucky at Vanderbilt, SEC Network. I'm going to go with Kentucky. And the Ohio State at Rutgers. Guys, they're not losing. Ohio State is not losing. They're not. Sorry. 3 o'clock. National Fox, Minnesota at Iowa. We talked about this one earlier on National Fox. I'm going to go with Iowa. Syracuse at Duke on the ACC network. I'm going to go with Duke. Incarnate Word at New Mexico State on the Flow Sports Network. I'm going to go with New Mexico State. Wyoming at Utah State on ESPNU. I'm going to go with Utah State. And Hawaii at UNLV on the Spectral Hawaii Network. I'm going to go with Hawaii. That's the 3 o'clock. The 3:30 slate, Rice at Middle Tennessee, ESPN Plus. I'm going to go with Middle Tennessee State. Also, our old buddy Mike Leach in Washington State. Stanford at Washington State, Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with the Leach. 4 o'clock, Louisiana at South Alabama, ESPN Plus. I'm going to go with South Alabama. 5 o'clock, Southern Mississippi at UTSA, Texas San Antonio, ESPN Plus. I'm going to go with Southern Mississippi. 6 o'clock, LSU at Ole Miss. I'm going to go with LSU in this one on ESPN. CBS Sports Network will have Cincinnati at South Florida. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. ESPN2 will have Air Force at Colorado State, the battle for Colorado. I'm going with the Air Force Falcons. Texas A&M will host South Carolina. South Carolina at A&M, SEC Network. I'm going to go with the Aggies. ACC Network will have Louisville at North Carolina State on the. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with North Carolina State. ESPNU, Appalachian State at Georgia Southern. I'm going to go with App State. And Fox Sports 1, Arizona State at Oregon State. I'm going to go with Oregon State. 7 o'clock game, UCLA at Utah, Fox National. I'm going to go with Utah. 9:15, New Mexico at Boise State, ESPN The Deuce. I'm going to go with Boise State. Pac-12, 2 Pac-12 after dark games, guys. 9:30, Arizona at Oregon, ESPN. I'm going to go with Oregon. And finally, 10 o'clock, USC at Cal Berkeley, FS1. I'm going to go with Cal. All right, guys, that's all the picks. That's all the picks I got, man. All the love to you. Don't take any of these picks to Vegas, but you know what? If you do, I will be more than happy to accept the money and cash with due process. So bring me show me the money, as Jerry Maguire says. All right, guys, thanks for watching. You can catch this and all my videos on YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982. Also, Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or on Twitter at HypeManHarry. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and enjoy this week of college football, baby. It is Championship November. Keep winning, baby.